Good morning, audience. Welcome to News 24. I'm Santiago Nakakawa, and today in our news special, we'll be counting with the participation of three specialists in the life and work of the famous French writer Jean-Paul Sartre. Let me introduce you to Ligia, Fernanda, and Christy.
Hi Santiago, it's a pleasure to be here.
The pleasure is mine. And now, could you please introduce Sartre to our audience?
Oh, of course. Well, Jean-Paul Sartre was, as you previously said, a French writer that lived during the 20th century. He was born in Paris in the year of 1905. At the early age of 19, he studied at the École Normale Supérieure and graduated 5 years later. In 1931, he became professor of philosophy at Le Havre, France. In 1932, he studied in Berlin the different theories that his partners Edmond Husserl and Martin Heidegger proposed, and returned to Le Havre 6 years later. He lived through both world wars, and he was captured and even imprisoned in 1940. When the war finished, he was left in freedom and kept proposing to the world his theories and ideologies until the end of his days, in 1980.
Sartre also wrote many important works. The most important works are Nausea, published in 1938, The Psychology of Imagination in 1939, Being and Nothingness in 1943, and of course, Existentialism is Humanism in 1946.
Wow, now that's a long life's work. And tell me, why is he so recognized in the world?
Sartre is well known for being one of the best and biggest representations of the atheist existentialism.
Atheist existentialism, huh? I don't get it though.
Sartre kept all his life fighting against the ideologies of the essentialist philosophers that have existed, as Plato, Aristotle, Confucius, and Saint Thomas Aquinas. All of these philosophers had something in common. They all agreed that there was a supreme form or being that gave each one of us humans an essence, or in its effect a soul. Basically, they believe there is nothing that exists without the main idea of its purpose. Well, every man is born with a soul, and within this soul there is an objective, a goal. And for me, the purpose of life is to rather find or understand this objective, and of course follow it in order to achieve it. The thing is that this purpose was already set by default by these supreme and perfect forms.
And what is the difference then? What is that atheist existentialism you mentioned about?
Be patient. That was exactly one of the things Sartre was against. He thought, why should we have our destiny already predetermined? Why should we think that there is something above that made us in order to accomplish a specific function? And he thought, there must be a real thing which existence precedes its essence.
What does that mean? Who was that being?
Or man. Sartre said, the man chooses and forges his own purpose in life. He doesn't have a soul. He creates his own soul, his own ideas, himself.
Now, that's very optimistic. And how are we men supposed to know what is the correct decision? What defines ourselves?
Okay, now that one is kind of difficult to explain. Sartre proposed a theory called subjectivism.
To understand subjectivism, we must first understand what to be subjective means. As the word says it, to be subjective means to have thoughts and make decisions according to the individual's experiences and, of course, by himself. For example, when you're asked in a work to give a subjective opinion, they need you to say or write everything you think or know about a thing based on what you have previously thinking. When they ask you to be objective, they mean you to avoid your thoughts and opinions that interfere with the work and focus on what is asked.
Okay, I get it.
Now that the meaning of subjectivity is understood, we can proceed. By subjectivism, Sartre meant us to live our lives and make our decisions according to what we believe as a reality. In other words, he proposed we should be subjective through our life at all the times in all kinds of situations. And through this way, we can make up our own purpose in life and follow it.
Man, that inspires me.
Wait, there's more. Sartre used a quote in order to explain in further ranges his theory. By choosing yourself, you're choosing for me.
Okay, wait. I understood that we were saying 2 minutes ago But now I think I got lost in that one.
Okay, I will explain it with an example. Okay? Think of a farmer. This farmer can produce a lot of food and seeds, so he has one dilemma. Either he privatizes his goods and uses them to feed and maintain his family, or he opens a business and sells his products to the people.
Okay.
Whatever choice he makes, he will do it in a totally subjective point of view. So he, and only he, will decide what choice to make. Let's say he also thought that opening a business could bring an income to the family. So this takes him to make the business decision. By choosing for his goods and food, he chooses for the entire society, as he decides to provide another source of food and seeds to all the people living in his village. If he had chosen to save his products to his family, the people wouldn't have had this new source of food. This is what Sartre meant. By choosing for yourself, you're choosing the destiny of the whole society that surrounds you. In an indirect form, you're choosing humanity. It may sound extreme, but when you make a decision by yourself, for yourself, you make it because you think it's right. Therefore, you will never choose wrong. And with this, as I've said, you're indirectly creating a model of how everyone should behave. Because what is good for you should be right for everybody.
Okay, fine. And how does he expect civilization to grow and to develop with this theory?
I think you're referring to social contract. Okay, this is how it works. When a person is born in a specific setting, in a specific time and place, this person has to deal with the same obstacles that everyone. However, when an individual achieves through subjectivism the creation of a goal or policy, he becomes into this model for society. For instance, a guitarist. All guitarists in the world have a model to follow, a great representation of what is important for them, in this case the guitar. And what do all these famous guitarists have in common? They all surpass the obstacles any guitarist has through his career. A person will say, it doesn't matter how I act, all of the people act the same. Imagine everyone deciding to act as him. That person is avoiding his responsibility as a definer of humanity. By becoming a model as a guitarist, he's becoming an option that can be elected to be followed or not.
Oh, now I understand. And that's how any person can become into a model to its society, isn't it?
Exactly.
Nice. But wait, as you probably said, an individual will always think he's doing the best, no?
Yes, because he's doing what is the best for himself, therefore, is the best for all.
Okay, and what happens if the consequences the society is having are not positive? Who will determine whether you're doing good or not?
The terms good and bad are too subjective, and that is why you just can't define them. However, to explain this phenomenon, Sartre used the quote, "We perceive ourselves in the other," and the other one is as truthful as we consider we are to ourselves. Walking back to the example of the guitarist, once you have determined who are your models, every action this model do will seem good to you. Following this logic, you see yourself as a goal to be as successful as the model you're following. Thus, if this model does anything that you do not agree with, or you do something that your model wouldn't, this difference implies that there is something wrong about it, be it you or your model. So this forces either the guitarist to stop following this model or the follower to change his ideals to keep following his model's actions. This could be compared with this model being the moral and the moral man. For Sartre is called bad faith.
What?